All right, guys. Components to help influence drive leg mechanics. So I've done a few breakdowns regarding the specific components individually, but I just wanted to do a video that covered basically everything. Okay, so when we look at the drive leg mechanics, there's other things. I'm going to try to simplify this whole kind of dynamic and understanding of this. There's other things that we can do, and the utilization of other moving parts that can help optimize our drive leg mechanics. So for one, I talk about how we can tilt our trunk. So obviously we want to abide by gravity as we descend from leg lift. We want to utilize the slope to, increase our acceleration rate. That's an energy system that can be utilized in the pitching mechanics. So what we can do to actually help our drive leg and help absorb and load and store energy is our upper half. All right, so now I know we're talking about the lower half mechanics. Don't try to get too confused. Getting a better understanding for how the trunk can operate within drive leg. As we descend, the responsibility of the drive leg, we talk about this in the book, is to absorb, produce, and store energy, right? So we're absorbing this energy within our drive leg, and we're producing ground force energy, and we're storing energy as we enter our drive phase in time for when our hip's gonna initiate rotation. So again, the trunk could be utilized as a tool or a mechanism to help load the drive leg, right? So when we descend, we can tilt our trunk. You'll see a bunch of screenings in this of how guys do this. Tilt our trunk, but the thing is, it's really important to understand, it's always these fine lines, right? Is we do not want to get what's called stuck over the rubber, right? When we have this perception of power breakdown, where we think about tilting our trunk and feeling this contraction of our glute, our butt, our quads, whatever, and then holding that contraction to the point where it's like, oh, well, our front foot's going to come down to the ground, and now we've totally limited the amount of acceleration down the slope. This is what I would call like defying gravity, by way of thinking about loading your drive leg. So it's a subtle move, descending. It's almost like you'd have to look at the hand separation timing as well. It could be a move in which the individual, separates the hands into this tilt to load the hip and then go, or load the drive leg and go. Another mechanism that we can use is what I call counterbalance mechanisms. This is a mechanism from the glove arm and the lead leg. Okay, something that I actually teach pertaining to drive leg mechanics is how the lead leg can influence a more optimal drive leg. So we know that we don't want to get over aggressive with our lead leg. We don't want to have this foot kind of shoot out to pull the drive leg. I actually try to teach like a neutral lead leg in knee extension. So again, when we are descending from this leg lift, we want to, I don't want to say we want to, because that's it's obviously subjective, but a mechanism that you can use, turn, is a counterbalance. So if you think about, your lead arm, your glove arm, and your lead leg, if they go out this way, that's going to give you a better opportunity to stay in your hinge, right? So if you think about I use this analogy a lot, hopefully it makes sense, but if you're going to do a single leg pistol squat, you're not going to have your arms and your leg go this way to accomplish the pistol squat, right? You want to counterbalance them, so then when you go down into this pistol squat, you have a counterbalance weight that influences that position and that movement. So similar in our pitching mechanics, right? So when we descend, this lead arm, glove arm, goes out, and our lead leg, don't get confused with like the actual lead leg mechanics for our block, but our lead leg can go out into knee extension. Now we can get into a much better position to allow us to get into the hip hinge and to load up the hip, load up the drive leg, and to keep this lead leg neutral to basically allow and accomplish the goal of driving with our drive leg. So with a neutral lead leg, and I say neutral as kind of just a term to get the point across that it's not a motor, right? It's not an accelerator piece that's forcing us down the mound, right? A neutral lead leg in knee extension is going to allow us to optimally drive using our drive leg. Because again, I've talked about this in the past, If you get over aggressive with this lead leg and shoot out, that's going to throw off alignment, timing, positioning, you know, down the road, down the mount. So other pieces, other components that can help optimize your drive leg mechanics. The upper half, give a little trunk tilt to help with the timing, to help, you know, get your hand on time, and to help load. I'll show screenings, which will make more sense. And then a counterbalance mechanism with the glove arm. We'll talk more about that when we get to the glove arm mechanics. And then the lead leg getting neutral but into knee extension as we descend. There's this concept that was actually demonized when I was first coming into pro ball in 2010, the swinging gait, right? So I was a big, like, coming out of high school, dude, I was 18, got drafted, and I was a big, like, separate and be here and then swing the gait. And for some reason, people demonized that and told me to, like, get it away because you wanted to come down and then move linear. And now looking back at it, knowing what I know now, I wish I never would have got rid of it. So those are a couple, you know, components that could help with the drive leg mechanics. So like I said, we'll do screenings to make more sense of all of this stuff, but there's a good starting point.